Welcome to Soundbite, a low-carb, high-protein, bite-sized portion of that which makes America.
Your hosts for this morsel of Americana are Christy and I
And Laura Bynum.
Our first course will be, what else? The Constitution of the United States.
We've asked a few of our friends to answer a few questions to see just exactly how much they remember about the Constitution.
Do you know when the Constitution was written?
I think it was 1787.
1780.
1776.
What does the Constitution say?
The Constitution, it drafts the outline of our government, basically having to do with the judicial system and due process, the rights of the accused, and also what specifically the president can or cannot do in war, and what the Congress is allowed to do, and how bills can be passed through the government.
Why do you think it's important that people understand what the Constitution is?
Because that's every citizen's basic rights, and they should know what their rights are.
The Constitution sets the framework for the government, and our Constitution is important because it set the checks and balances among the three branches of government so that no one branch is more powerful than the others.
Do you remember how you learned about the Constitution?
Oh, probably the first time was civics class in 9th grade.
Probably most of it I learned in 8th grade when we took the Constitution test, and also probably on court TV, which I watch.
I first learned it in grade school, but I was a history major, so I read about it and wrote papers about it too.
In fact, the Constitution, according to our Complete Idiot's Guide to American Government, is the oldest living Constitution in use today. It was ratified in 1790 and contains 7 articles that set up the government's three-tiered system. It's a system of government born of a people who'd been repressed by other, less limited systems, and is based on the idea that a loosely but firmly bound group of American representatives will keep each other awake and on course. It's a system known as checks and balances. The first 3 articles consist of, and in this order, the legislative branch, which is the Congress and consists of the Senate and the House of Representatives, the executive branch, notice the President is given second billing, and the judicial branch includes the courts and the halls of justice. The final 4 articles lay the groundwork for establishing the states versus the federal rights, how a person might go about editing the Constitution, making sure that the Constitution is known as the ultimate law of the land, and ratification. That was the main body of the Constitution, but what about the amendments? Do you have any idea how many amendments there are in the Constitution?
I would guess that there are 13.
Do you know what the Bill of Rights are?
Bill of Rights, those are the first 10 amendments to the Constitution.
They were amendments to the Constitution.
And do you know how many amendments there are in the Constitution?
Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe 30, 35, something like that.
I believe there are 26.
And is there any certain amendment that you think is more important than another?
The First Amendment, freedom of speech.
And why is freedom of speech important to you?
We wouldn't be free if it weren't for the First Amendment. We need to have freedom of speech to survive in a democracy.
Probably freedom of religion, because that's why many people came to the United States, so they would not be persecuted for their religious beliefs.
The Bill of Rights was a package of 10 amendments that was passed at the same time as the Constitution. These first 10 amendments, there are 27 total, were added by men anxious to make sure they didn't make the same mistakes as their forefathers back in the old country. They didn't want to forget to lobby hard and lobby early for the right of the everyman to pursue life, liberty, and happiness without encountering governmental opposition.
We heard all this stuff in high school and suffered a recap in college. We learned the Schoolhouse Rock jingle and got to know the first few lines of the Constitution to a song sung by a cartoon character. So why now? Why are we inspired to go looking for the kind of information that used to put us to sleep? Because we can. Because we live in a country that is truly for the people, and more importantly, by the people. And because freedom is a lot like a muscle, something most felt and appreciated when you use it. We leave you with a little something to cleanse your palate.
We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice and ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
Soundbite was written and produced by Christy Uden and Laura Bynum. Music by Kevin Elliott.